Today I would like to talk about dating to sales. Now, there are a lot of you guys out there that want to get into sales, want to get into entrepreneurship. Maybe you're already into it and you're like, "Hey, I don't know how I can improve my my sales skills, business skills, people skills." Well, here's one tip that I think will really help you. If you're not already doing it, which I hope that a lot of you guys are already doing. But if you're not, start dating. Here's why. There are four reasons that I'm gonna break down of why you should do it. Number one is it's your scariest prospect. You know, the girl or the guy, the cutest girl or the cutest guy, or that one person that you really want to talk with, you really want to go out to. They're the scariest person. Nobody's scarier than that. Not somebody on the doors, not somebody on the phones, not a new business deal that you're gonna make. For most people, I would say the majority of people, the scariest person you're ever going to talk to is somebody you are attracted to. And if you overcome, and when you overcome talking to that person and those people, because there are many of them, right? When you overcome and you learn that skill to talk with them and approach them and sit down next to them, man, if you can talk to them, you can talk to anybody. Point number two is you learn to set and to close. After you sat down next to somebody, let's just give this scenario. You're at a class. Let's just say it could be any class. Could be a church class, could be a school class, whatever. And you sit down next to them. Hey, my name's Addison. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Where are you from? What are you doing here? And you get to know them. Then you make the set. You have to be able to set the appointment, set the date. Hey, I'd love to go out and get some lunch with you. Hey, we should go. I'm actually going hiking next week. You want to come with? You set the date, and then two, you have to close the date. Anybody can set a date. Oh yeah, sure, I guess. Yeah, here's my number. And then they never talk to you again. They ghost you. And you don't actually have the date. You have to set the date and you have to actually close, follow up, make sure it actually happens, right? Lesson number three, when you're actually on the date, you're gonna be learning people skills. Face it, you're gonna have to pick activities. Here, let me just back up a little bit. I heard this story. This guy goes into his friend's house, and the friend's like playing the guitar. I think it's his son is playing the guitar, and he's like, "Hey, you should check out this new song. I really like it." And he said, "That's great. If you want to play songs that you like, then you'll play them in your basement. But if you want to play on a big stage in front of thousands of people, you better start learning what songs I want to hear instead of what songs you want to hear." It's the exact same thing with dating and with anything with people skills. You're going to have to learn what activities, what things this girl or this guy wants to do on the date. You're going to have to talk about things that they want to talk about. You're going to start thinking in terms of them and the other person instead of yourself and what I want to sell. You better start thinking about what they want to buy. Lesson number four is and this might be all of these kind of build on each other, but I really love point number four is you build your network. You're going to be able to expand your friend circle, and in sales, it's the same thing. The whole idea is expanding your contacts, expanding your Rolodex, okay? Everybody that you know, expanding it out. And you'll be able to do this by going to social events and by sitting and talking to new people all the time. I recently went to the Vault conference. It's a business conference, and I went there and with my two brother-in-laws, and we were there. The first day was just networking, which is such a kind of a vague notion for most people. Like, networking, what does it actually mean? It means to talk with people, to basically make friends, right? So we were like, I was all gung-ho, like, hey, let's go make some solid friends, some solid business contacts. And we were just walking back and forth on this long hallway, and all these entrepreneurs, there were either people that were already stopped and they were already talking with their groups, their little cliques of people, or there were people that were passing us, and we were passing them both, going both ways, just back and forth for probably 2 hours. And we were like, dang, how can we meet some people? And we finally like strategized. I called up my wife, right? And we figured, hey, let's just sit back and let's scout out people, and the people that we want to talk to, then let's go and approach that specific person. We are purposeful about it. And then during the conference, we sat by people. As soon as we sat by, hey, nice to meet you. What brings you here to this conference? What have you got out of this conference? Where are you from? What do you do with your business? There's so many questions that you can ask. You're going to be able to learn all of those people skills like we talked about in point number 3, and you're going to be able to grow that network by putting yourself out there in those circumstances, going to those social events. Along with that, I remember my friend Ammon told me, he said, we were looking at starting up a mastermind, and he said, he's like, I know 2 or 3 guys who I think would be pretty solid in this mastermind. And I was like, hey, I actually know 2 or 3 guys that would be pretty solid as well. And he's like, you know what? I think that all of us would know 2 or 3 guys that would be pretty solid. So we invite our 4 to 6 people, and each of those guys know 2 or 3 more guys that they can invite, and each of them know 2 or 3 more guys which they can invite. And it's kind of a compounding effect. It has this exponential effect of going from 2 to 4 to 8 to 16 to 32, and just starts growing up. That's how networks work, right? And the same thing is with dating. Last point I'll say on growing your network is I highly recommend getting a group together every single week out of those people that you go on dates with. Let's say you go on double dates, your existing friends, and you just have one activity every week that you get all the people that you're really close with. So let's go, say you go on a date, you don't really like this person. Well, that's fine. Don't invite them. Let's say you go on a date, it's okay. Don't invite them, or do invite them, either way. But let's say you go on a date and it's awesome. Well, then invite them to your weekly friend group, and you're going to get together and play games together, do sports together, go out to outings together, go on trips together with that tight friend group that you're getting together with every single week. And your friend group is going to start growing bigger and bigger, but also stronger and stronger, because you guys are all getting together every single week. Okay? My challenge to you is go, if you're single, okay? If you're single, watch out for you married people out there. If you're single, go on one new date a week, okay? When I say new, I'm not talking about go on the same date with the same girl every single week, okay? If you find the one and you're like, oh, I want to get married, well then fine. I'm talking about meeting new people. So many people in high school, you hear about all the time, they start dating this girl in their freshman or sophomore year of high school, and they date one person for 4 years. That's so limiting. You don't get to know anybody. You date one person for 4 years, 5 years, and you haven't got to date. If you haven't dated like hundreds of people, then you don't know what your options really are. You don't know what you really like in somebody. You don't really know the values and principles that you're really looking for until you've seen lots of different options, okay? And so my challenge is go on a new date, because not only will that give you more options to choose for marriage, but also it will allow you to keep on developing those people skills and those setting skills and closing and approaching new people every single week, right? If it's a new person every single week, you're going to be on your toes all the time because that's what you're doing in sales. So that's my point with dating. This challenge is 1 new date a week. I know you're going to have tons of fun. You're going to be getting out of your comfort zone a lot doing this. And also you're going to be building that friend group and building that network of friends. And that, my friends, is how you can make, how you can take dating and make it into your best sales weapon, okay? I'd love to hear your thoughts of either experiences you've had with sales or with dating. And if you agree or disagree with me, put it in a comment below.